Hi, welcome to my channel. I am Brenda and thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be working through the ALX VA program milestone 4 for week 4, and we're going to see how we can prepare a travel pack for a client or for ourselves. Please subscribe to my channel so I get to provide more quality content for you. First off, before we start, we are advised to rename our document. Open a new Google document and rename it in the order name, your destination, and dates which I've done. You just have to click on the name of the document and it shows you to rename. When you double click, this goes and you can type your name and make the necessary changes as I have done. The first thing you're going to have to do is the introduction, and you're going to have to name it in a similar way you named the document, the Google document. Your name, look, destination, and date. I decided to use the pack provided by ALX instead of using a plain Google Sheet because I find the pack is quite appealing and I don't want to work through designing new Google Sheet for presentation, adding images and the likes. So we're going to use this one. Much easier, saves everyone time. Here we have the introduction. On the introduction, see the name, my client's name, Brenda, vacation to Tanzania, and we have the date. I probably should have written it Zanzibar, Tanzania to be more specific, but yeah, you get the point. After the introduction, we have the table of content, and as you can see, I've linked each slide to the table of content. I'll show you how to do this at the end of this video after you've compiled all the slides. It's easier to go through and see the location of each slide and add it accordingly. Up next, after the introduction, you can add, I just remember, you can add a sheet below. Perhaps you want to add a slide. Just hit an active slide and click the plus sign and you would see a new slide below it. But we are using the pack, so we already have our slides. I've done it to make this tutorial shorter. So we have our entry exit slide after the introduction. Remember, we haven't added our table of content, and you're supposed to list your sources. Once you do your research, list your sources. I've listed mine below. I've got sources from the High Commission, Tanzania High Commission. I've also linked Joy Tours because I got some of my entry requirements from there. And your passport, you can see visa, yellow fever vaccination. And now the next one, you're going to have your visa. Your visa should be there. The documents, now you have attached the documents needed. Vaccine, and this is the yellow fever vaccine card, which I do not have, but if I were to add, I'll go to image, then upload from computer, which will bring a dialog box. I can choose and click open, but I'm not adding the image, so I'm clicking cancel, but you can add it if you have a dummy document to add there. Up next, we're going to look at the etiquette and cultural expectation. In my research, I used Google. You can use AI tools to help you with your research. And I came up with a research says mention two. And I came up with this. I got this tool, which hopefully will help my client enjoy their vacation. Up next, we have the event information, which include the visit to Prison Island and other visits. Then there is during my research, I got this from Joy Tours. So you can see I picked the information about the Prison Island, and it gives a succinct description of the day. I've also added other information that my client might need to know. I made this 2 slides, including clothing and the arrival time. I probably should rename that for my client to easily understand. Clothing they can understand. Also, if there is a confirmation, it's there. I got it from the park and I left it there. So for day 2 events, you're supposed to add 3. For day 2, I have this blue safari for my client. I picked the description from Joy Tours. It's succinct, and time to arrive. I should probably rename that arrival time more specific. And so yeah, once my client looks at it, they understand. I've made bold the time so that once they glance, they know when they're supposed to be there. Day 3, I've added a city tour. I picked the description again, succinct with the times my client is supposed to be there. I've also added other details, including like meals, so that they can get a glance will give them an accurate. Next, we have the map. Now I'm going to show you how I added this. I got this from Google, and I'm going to delete it and go to insert an image, and I'm going to see from web, and then I'm going to type in Zanzibar, Tanzania, and my map is just going. Now I'm going to click on it, insert, and just like that, my image of my map, image of I have a map I can drag to fit based on my preference, and here my client can have a map at hand should they want to check out Zanzibar. Woo! For the budget, you're given a list for which you're to calculate your expenses, flight, accommodation, meals, and other activities. And I've done mine in a separate sheet and copied and pasted it in my slide, and I'm going to show you how to copy this. You can make it bigger as you paste depending on your taste. For this, we don't need this extra slide. So here we are. I already copied this, and let me just remove this from the screen so we see what we're working on. So here are my expenses. Visa application pegged it at $120. It's between $50 and $100 based on my research. And I have flight details. Is a round trip. We're using Ethiopian Airlines. So now let's see how we copy this into our slide. So we're going to select each where your data is, the table where your data is, and you insert. And we're going to insert a chart. So you click on chart, and once you click, you have a pie chart, which we're going to change. Drop down arrow, and we see a table down below. Click on it, and this information becomes a table. So this is how I copied, because when I copied it directly from the sheet, my information was distorted on the slide, so I copied it this way. So once you get your table, you're going to hit Control C on Windows, copy it, go to your slides and paste. Now here is our itinerary for our template for our itinerary, and we have the purpose and destination, and I've written my client's name and field and added information to the fields. Now we're going to go through this. You can see my trip start date, my stop, and because my client's time zone, so we have our as you would recall, taking into cognizance difference in time zones is important when planning an itinerary, and I've done that for this client. You can see West African time and to East African time, and I filled my flight arrival time, and I've also added more information for my client to make it easier for them to navigate. Now returning flight, I've added the date. You can see our destination, our departure airport, which is Zanzibar International, and as usual I've taken cognizance time difference, so I've added the airlines confirmation, arrival, and now ground transportation. Based on my research, I've come up with Paladin Hotel, and they're providing us a cab. I've added confirmation and pickup time, including date and more information for my client in case they encounter a challenge. Because we've been asked to add 3 activities, I've added each one. All the tours are booked with Joy Tours. This is hypothetical, so we'll bear that in mind. And our hotel, we have our check-in date, our the name, our city, and we have you fill all information, check-in time, and check out time. Add more information should you need to clarify something for your client. Since my client's going on vacation, there's no business event, so I left that out. Now to copy this table, you have to select the cells where you have content your document, and you select each one just like that, and then you copy it and paste it into your slide. And here's your slide. Once you have, add a new slide, and once you add a slide, go to it's just copy C plus V for Windows, and then you paste it. Don't be panicky when it doesn't appear at once. It takes time sometimes. And here is our document. I'll zoom it and you can see everything that has been imputed. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and help me produce more content. Like I mentioned earlier, now we're going to make a table of content for this travel. And so here we are to add a slide, and then here we are missing, I left out an event, so that we can learn to add it. And here, once you click on a text box, you can see the link at the top. I've already linked this document, but I would like to add event which we left out for your benefit. Once you click, you're going to the top, and you can see here budget has been linked. I want to remove it. This is the text box. You add what you want to link, and then next you add the slide which you want to link with, which is why it was important to do all the slides before we come back to the table of content, so this way we know which slide we are linking to. And just like that, we have our event information linked to slide 10. Woohoo! Just like that, we are done. You can use your checklist, and see that you have all slides. Remember to delete any slides you're not using, or review to see you have all content added. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.